I'm with Orit Saham Gover, and we're here at the ANU Museum of the Jewish People. Tell us a bit about the museum. You're the curator.
The museum is about the story of the Jewish people. We focus on culture and identity, the voyage of Jews throughout history, and the foundations of what is common to all the Jews and what is common to the Jews and the world, which is the Bible. And having the Sassoon Codex, the oldest Bible existing, this is an opportunity for us to connect between the oldest Hebrew Bible in the world and other Bibles in different languages of different cultures and people and religions and locations that have this connection through the Bible that speaks to, I would say, most of the cultures in the world.
When was this museum started?
This museum, the ANU Museum, was opened 2 years ago, in 2021. But there was a museum before here that we took off. It was called the Diaspora Museum. And this museum was trying to identify between the Israelis and the Jews. And the change that we made, and the name ANU means in Hebrew we, is to connect and say we're all Jewish people no matter where we live.
So is this museum about Jews from around the world or just here in Israel?
No, it's around the world throughout history. We start in antiquity and we cover the whole story through the ages until today.
And what can people see here in this museum?
They can see there is a floor that is dealing with, we call it a mosaic, identity and culture today, and mainly the way Jews are involved in different arts, in film and theater and music and dancing and in literature and in the arts, and Jews who contributed to humanity. So, and also all kinds of questions of personal identity and a group identity. This is the third floor, or the first one of the visit. The second floor of the visit is about how the Jews moved from one place to the other throughout history. So it started with Babylonia, Eretz Israel, and Alexandria in antiquity, and then Spain and Germany, Sfarad and Ashkenaz in medieval ages, and then Ottoman Empire and Poland, Lithuania in early modern, and then in modern time, Western Europe, Eastern Europe, America, and Islamic countries until today.
And do you have an educational program here?
Yes, we have a lot of educational programs, both in the museum. We have many groups of school children coming in, and we have many educational programs with communities around the world in which we try to connect to content and activities that happen here and to kind of export them to the rest of the world.
Now you have an open database. Tell us a bit about that.
Yes, we have an open database. We have a website with a lot of information about history, about activities, and about all the content of the museum.
You have different exhibitions here. One of them is Jewish humor. Tell us a bit about that.
The Jews, as an underdog for many years, I mean, the majority of Jewish history, we were underdog, developed what usually underdogs have. They don't have power, they can't fight, they can't beat, but they can laugh. And this is kind of a survival to laugh. So what we did was to collect Jewish humor and display it among the stories of the Jewish people that are shown in this museum. And we focus on different kind of laughter. What is characterizing Jewish laughter is a self-laughter. We mostly laugh at ourselves. It's not very interesting to laugh at someone else, but it's very funny to laugh at yourself. So most of the humor that we present is a self-humor.
Do you hold special events here?
Yes, we have a lot of special events. Some of them people just, buy space to create their own events, and some of them are events with content that we arrange. And there is so much content in this museum, so you can arrange all kinds of events, and it will always be relevant.
Now, you have the earliest, most complete Bible manuscript on display here. Tell us a bit about that.
The Sassoon Codex, which is the earliest and most complete Hebrew Bible, because we have Bibles in all possible languages, is a representation of, first of all, it's the first Bible in format of a book. Beforehand, 700 years beforehand, everything that we have from the Bible is scrolls, like the Dead Sea Scrolls. Then there is 700 years that nothing was left, so we don't know if there was something or not, but nothing was left. And then all of a sudden, in the end of the 9th century, we find two Bibles as books. And as a book, and as a book that represents the Bible the way it is structured today, that we all have in our houses, this is the oldest one. For me, it's an historical event to be able to present something that is so old. It's not the oldest exhibit in the museum, of course, but is also old and also present so many aspects of the Jewish story. It represents wisdom. It represents the way to preserve the wisdom and transfer it to the next generation. It represents the way the Jews have preserved the Hebrew and try to make sure that people that speak other languages will know how to read and pronounce Hebrew. It has all kinds of wandering. It has stories of people. It's a story of destruction and of a community that nobody heard of before that. Before they found this Bible, it's a story of prosperity. Usually, economical prosperity brings cultural prosperity. It's a story of destruction. And there is a mystery of disappearance of 500 years, and then it resurrects in another country. And one Jewish scholar from Germany is inviting a scholar that his family came from Baghdad and moved to Mumbai in India, and he himself is living in London. He invited him to buy this book, and this scholar, after bargaining, is buying the book. What is more Jewish story than that?
Is this the first time it's been in Israel, and how important is this to the museum?
It's the second time ever that it is presented to the public. It was out of public eye for 1,100 years. It was presented once in London in the British Library for 2 weeks in 1982, and this is the second time that the public eye is looking at this manuscript, and I'm very proud and excited that it is presented in my place.
It's only on for a short period of time, so are you expecting a lot of Israelis to come and see it?
Yes, I expect that we have a capacity of 10,000 visitors to come see this Bible, and I believe they will come. We also offer it for free. We don't feel we should ask people to pay to see the beginning of their culture. So we expect 10,000 people.
It's going to be for sale very, very soon in New York. How much is it expected to make?
Well, they say between 30 million to 50 million.
Wow.
This is Sotheby's, not me.
Yeah. Would the museum like to have it for a little bit longer?
I would like to have it a bit longer. I would like to have it forever. I never get whatever I want, everything that I want.
Are you hoping to have more artifacts on display, very, very big artifacts on display here in the museum?
I hope so. It not depends only on me, but I do hope so.
Do you have other Bibles here from around the world?
Yes. In this vitrine, you have 7 Bibles in different languages, from different countries. And we specifically located the Codex Sassoon in front of them so we can have the dialogue between the ancient Hebrew Bible to all the people and cultures and religious and places that the Bible is part of their culture and their world. So in a way, it represents the whole idea of this floor of the universality of the Bible.
Is the Jewish culture and heritage very rich, and has it changed over the years as they've gone into different countries?
The fantastic story about the Jewish culture, that though the Jews moved from one country to the other, there is a certain part of it that was the same everywhere, mostly because of the Bible, and the rest was different. Jews always looked like their neighbors, dressed like their neighbors, spoke their language, ate their food, make it kosher, but ate their food. So it's a kind of a dialogue between be part of a host society and maintain your own culture.
What's your hope for the future?
Peace for the world. This is my hope. And peace among the Israelis.
And what's your website for people who'd like to know more about the work that you do here at the museum?
It's called Anu Museum, the website, and it's very big and very rich, and you can get a lot of information from there.
Okay, Orit, thank you very much.
You're welcome. My pleasure.